Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hello, my name is Mike, and today's show is brought to you by our Amazon page. Please remember to shop at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. It's quite simply the best way to support this show. If you need it, Amazon has it, and you can get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. Bookmark it, please.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store, and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Guess.
French.
You know, we don't do a lot of guest spots on the Mike O'Mara Show. Not that we don't want to do more. By the way, if Rob Ford keeps sending me emails with those guest suggestions that he gave me like yesterday, we'll never do guests. I'm reasonably sure. Now, before we introduce our guest, I want to take a peek behind the curtain. Okay. So yesterday I get an email from Rob Ford.
Right.
And the email is as follows. From Rob Ford to me. Hi, Mike. I'm in the process of tracking down a potential guest. His name is Bo Phillips, and it's for the show at the end of the week. He is at Arlington Public Library Thursday night to promote his new book, so I would be shooting to get him in studio Thursday or Friday. Who is this man? And now, right there, when I hear the name, I don't immediately recognize the name.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. But Bo
you
Phillips,
never know.
it has kind of a movie star
It does.
vibe,
Bo
doesn't it?
Phillips.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
a Bo Bridges. And it's so then I go down, and Rofo is nice enough to include the bio on the guy. So it says, Phillips, a former head of marketing at MTV. He will be at the Arlington Public Library. So right there, I'm hearing crickets.
Okay.
To discuss his book, I Killed Pink Floyd's Pig, which offers readers a glimpse into the world of rock and roll with stories about the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Paul McCartney, and other legends. And I suddenly realized someone's been talking with someone else on the show.
All I did, and it wasn't what
Anything
I went on.
Beatles.
That's right.
And then I knew it when I came in today.
He did
Rob
submit-
said,
he
did
did
you get Romo's email? So you like the idea of getting this guy on the show.
I like
Who
the idea.
Fuck cares about that guy?
I like the idea
Jesus.
of you having an opportunity to turn him down. That's what I liked.
What do you mean?
That's evil.
If you wanted it,
That
we'd
is
have
evil.
It. No, it's not evil. If you wanted it, you have the option. He did
no,
tell.
wait a minute. Now,
How about you make some executive decisions?
Wait, what would we talk to this guy about?
He had one clip that
Obviously,
I enjoyed
you
very
were,
much.
There
where
it
he
is.
Said,
there it is. Now own it.
Tell
if
the
you own it,
truth.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Tell the truth.
He told a story about AC/DC opening beers on their eye sockets. I thought it was very entertaining.
But really, here it is. Even the Tony Perkins show, which is a
Right.
fine show on the More
Great
Network.
show.
They've been pulling, they're not, I wouldn't say super A-listers, but they've been pulling a lot of one-time A-listers.
Sure, at one time.
You got your Tony Danzas. I'd talk to Tony Danza
Hell yeah.
in a heartbeat.
Sure.
But once again,
Uncle
as we
Tony?
move into 2015, what are we doing here? I mean, with all, where did this name come up?
when did
How
you-
did that? What was
He
the
came
genesis
to me,
of this?
When
he
did you
called
give up,
me
Rob?
yesterday, years ago, but you knew that, asshole. So he called
Wow,
me yesterday.
we're going to be editing the show a lot at the beginning this time.
He called me yesterday and pitched this, and I said, you know what? A couple rock and roll stories. Who knows? See if Mike's into it.
No, what I would tell him is, how about getting a celebrity?
Yeah. What
How
happened
about
to Donny
getting
Osmond?
someone?
What
get
happened to that
some-
guy?
Yeah, what happened to Donny Osmond? And I would now the thing is that we love having guests come in because it's fun. It
It is
shakes
fun.
things up. It's a little different. It's usually just us, but. And I'm not looking. I know I do a podcast. I've accepted reality. Even when we were doing radio, in local radio, you do not necessarily pull the A-listers. You don't get the radio tour. But I just wish, even local celebs have been more fun. This guy, Is that where we are? Is that where we are with it? And it's just like,
But we
and
still
then
at
you
least
say,
we have
call
the
Mike.
luxury. No, I had to tell Mike, see if he's into it. That's
But
all
you were
I
into
said.
it. You would have accepted it if it was the
I
Mike
was
O'Mara show.
right on the line.
We're better than this.
I was right on the line.
Why were you even on the line?
Because he had called me and already had this guy nailed down, and I said,
Oh, boy, that must have been tough. What, did he stand in line at the Arlington Public Library to get this guy nailed down?
He had to return some books, and he was able to nail it down.
Jeez.
And I just said, you know what? See if Mike's into it. There was no wasted time. He
Well,
had already wasted
in
the
fairness
effort.
to Rofo, when Rofo comes in here, I'm going to tell him that if he wants to expand his horizons,
Right.
and pursue guest booking, there is no resource available on our show to help him with that. He's got to do it on his own, and he's got to be creative and be innovative. And I would actually have him call if he would accept the call.
Well, the
I would have him
resources-
call Oscar's producer at Big O and Dukes, and kind of their third wheel at Big O and Dukes, but the producer of the Junkies. I would call Drab and pick Drab's brain and see, because we never had guests on any incarnation of the show that were not spoon-fed to us, and I don't think we know how to get guests. I don't think we know even how to read the goddamn newspaper and figure out who's coming into town. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
The Burns, Mike. Just Burns.
Rob, am I being right about that? You never
You're
booked a
dead
guest
on.
in the whole time. You did 3 tours with the Don and Mike show, and guest booking was your weakest link.
Never could quite master it. You're right. You're
I'm
right.
just trying to figure
What about
out
a fourth try for Rob?
what to book guests. He
Yes.
doesn't want to book guests. It's the last thing he
There's a
wants
lot of
to
things
do.
I don't want to do, and I do them.
Well, I said it to Rob. I said, "Can we get some guests?" And here's the result: Bo Phillips, former head of marketing for MTV,
He greenlit Bo
with
Phillips.
a story about Led Zeppelin. Because Led Zeppelin came into the building. Well, I'll ask you, Rob, do you want another crack at it? Working with
There's
Rofo to...
nothing I want less. But I will hold his hand and we can raise the bar. We can do it. But they say the
And
definition
I'm not, as
of
I
it,
said,
Mike,
I am not looking for...
you
I'm
know-
realist. I'm a realist. I know what's
do you
going
know
on
what
here.
the clinical definition of insanity is?
What's that?
Doing the same thing over and over again while hoping for a different result.
Are you referring to yourself if you take on this task?
Yes, but I'm going to do
Or
it.
me trying to get guests
You
on
know
the show?
what? Maybe we can share a room at St. Elizabeth.
Well, here's the thing: podcasts out in in certain other areas of the
Yeah.
country are. Let me see. Let me give you a good example of the pod. Norm Macdonald
Okay.
has a podcast. Norm Macdonald calls on his celebrity friends pretty much, and he's out in L.A. and it's good, and he
Easy
does
access.
that. But his podcast is week after week after week of doing guests,
Yeah.
of
Right.
having guests come in. I'd settle for one every quarter. You know, I'm not
The bar
asking
isn't
for the
high.
moon. But once again, we go, do you want Patton to do a phone? No, I don't want the same people
Right.
again and again when we've had one person in 2014. And that is, it's very, very frustrating.
I
It's
understand.
very frustrating for me personally.
One a quarter
So-
quota isn't bad.
and I'm sure, look, when you do anything that's for mass consumption, there's somebody out there going, "Oh my God, you've got to get Bo Phillips! I can't believe
turn him
down. How could you pass on Bo Phillips?" So, in any way, I like to get guests, whether they be phenomenally famous people or local legends. And today,
here we
ladies and
go.
gentlemen, this was the entire setup because we are in the midst of greatness. We have 2 local legends that are here today, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I should point out that the big game is coming up on February 1st. The entire Mike O'Mara Show crew will be at Jimmy's Old Town Tavern in scenic. Shut up. We will be in scenic, beautiful Old Town Herndon on February 1st. He's already done it to me.
He's got the
by
magic.
doing that.
Yeah.
Turn it off. Monitor the levels, Rob.
Yes.
So you can. There you go. There you go. You can turn it down until he's spoken to. Thank
Okay,
you.
very good.
All right. Jimmy's Old Town Tavern. We're going to be there February 1st, the 18th annual Big Game Bash. 18 years they have been doing the Big Game Bash at Jimmy's Old Town Tavern.
Nice.
We want you to come out to Herndon for big fun, big screen rented TVs, and the best party in town.
Mike, they might be traded.
They're traded, yes. The fun starts at 4 p.m. Watch the big game with Mike, Oscar, and Rob. Be a part of Uncle Dave's exciting free football pool. One of the categories in Uncle Dave's free football pool is if Uncle Dave will live to the big game. That's the big
Every
question.
year, this could be the last one.
That's right. And I left a word out. It's the Magic Football Pool, Mike.
The Magic Football Pool. Jimmy will be there, too, and Jimmy is here now, live in studio with his trusted ally, EQ, the man that really is his right-hand man.
body man.
Thank you.
And always comes to all of his media appearances. EQ is here. Jimmy Cerrito from Jimmy's Old Town Tavern. Give him a nice round of applause.
Hi, everybody.
Jimmy. How
Hi,
are
Mike.
you?
Thank you.
Jimmy, it's long distance, but how are you doing? Good to see you. You can look to your left.
Oh, hi. It's good to see you up there on
There
the
you
wall.
go. Hi. How are
This is
you?
a big-
How's it-
I miss you.
I miss you too, pal. I really do.
Can
I
I
miss
come
riding
down there?
motorcycles with you. I miss coming to your bar, and I'm so excited to have the whole gang out at Jimmy's,
Yes.
and we're going to have a fantastic
Yes.
time. Yes, Rob, speak away.
You know, there was a wonderful, warm moment before the show began because a lot of people know this, but it merits restating. You and Jimmy are very good friends.
Yes,
and
we are.
as Jimmy sat down and strapped on the headphones and saw your huge face on our video monitor,
Our
Jimmy,
brand new video monitor that we that Oscar and Rob installed.
Jimmy
last-
turned to the
2 nights
camera and then spoke into the microphone and said, "Mike, if you could hear me."
ago. Yes. Jimmy is confused by the setup. You understand how it works,
Yeah,
right,
you're
Jimmy?
the Wizard of Oz.
Doesn't he look like that?
Pay no attention to that man behind the. I can do lighting effects too. Oh,
good.
I can do lighting effects.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Enough of that.
Come forward, Scarecrow.
Come forward, Scarecrow. What about you, Lion?
If I only had a brain.
So, Jimmy is here. Eric is here. Eric, how are you?
Hi, Mike. How are you? Thanks for
I'm
having me.
doing very well. The Pabst Blue Ribbons have been opened up, and the boys are drinking them on a beautiful Wednesday morning in our nation's capital. And I should also point out, Jimmy is in full regalia, wearing his official king costume because, ladies and gentlemen, once again, voted by the readers. Was it the readers of Northern Virginia Magazine?
Sure it was.
Yeah.
Okay. The readers of Northern Virginia Magazine picked Jimmy Cerito as the king of the wings once
Thank
again
you.
for
Thank you for your vote.
2014.
And
Thank
as he
you.
referred to, he's wearing his cape and a crown, or as Jimmy called it today, his king hat.
Well, Jimmy is very, very excited to be here. We are very excited to once again. How many have we done? 5 years at the Super Bowl
This is our
party.
fifth. Yeah.
5 straight
Our,
years.
our fifth year. I
Couldn't do
do
without
not.
you.
I'll tell you, I don't get out of this beautiful, sunny South Florida very often, but I'm coming out that weekend, bringing the whole family up, and I'm very, very excited to be joining you guys up there.
Fun
and
Mike's back.
Yeah.
Fun Mike is coming
I
back.
hope
Yeah,
you bring
baby.
some of that nice Florida weather with you.
I sure hope. Now, the only thing that makes me nervous is
Snow.
I'm coming in Friday and flying out on Monday, and based on the patterns of weather in Washington, D.C., we've had some nasty weekends in Washington for the Super Bowl weekend. have we
Oh,
not?
the first time we were there,
The best.
it was, I think, 14 inches of snow or something.
We
It
want
was-
that again.
Remember that during the commercials, people were watching people try to come up Spring Street
Yes.
and then slide back down Spring Street.
fantastic.
Better
I'd
than
like
the
to.
game.
It was a great day.
Epic.
You know,
night.
and we're all going to be there, and it's going to be a good time. And you're king of the wings, and you're Jimmy, and your
I have a
beautiful
question for
wife.
you, though.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I'm sorry you were going to mention my wife. Yes, she will be there.
Yeah, and
Do you-
it's her.
do you-
Mo just celebrated her big
The
5-0.
big 5-0, and doesn't she look
Yes.
great?
She really
She
does
was
very
fantastic.
Donnie Cerrito, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
First time I ever kissed a 50-year-old. So
Sure it is.
I love you, honey.
Oh my God!
So hi, honey.
What the? That was totally inappropriate.
Hold on. Mike's over 50, isn't he?
That's why he brings him.
There you go.
That's why
That's
he comes
EQ.
in there.
So I have a question.
Fantastic.
Do
Yeah,
do
go
you
ahead.
guys want to sit down on the lower level at Jimmy's?
No.
With a big
I like
screen?
upper level. Upper level.
I like
like
upper
that upper
level.
level, yeah.
You all like it?
I like upper level.
the
It's
high
where the
tops?
action is.
Yeah, and also we
yeah.
don't have to deal with steps.
Oh, and also a little warning.
Okay.
I will not be accepting any kind of shooter at
No
your
sugar.
fine restaurant.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore.
Just
I
shots.
can't.
Oh, man.
Now that I'm back
and Jack
on the
Ruby was
train-
coming.
And Jameson's not technically a shooter, is it, Mike?
Yes, it is, EQ. Thank you very
Jameson
much.
isn't
I
a
appreciate it.
shooter.
No, I'm going to try to. It's a long day. You know, I get there. I sound like Bill O'Reilly. It's a long day. I get out there early, and I'm Fun Mike has returned, but Fun Mike is still
What are you
learning,
drinking?
Yeah, what is fun-
relearning.
yeah, what is Fun
I don't know. You know what I'm thinking?
Carbonated things?
Yeah, carbonated beverage like I'll
malt
probably
based
do
beverage.
Probably a Miller Lite will do me well all day.
Mike,
That's-
you sound like if you got a streetwalker that's coming out of retirement. I'm only
Yeah.
gonna do 2 guys tonight. No gangbangs.
That's
no
right.
gangbangs. At the end of the night, she's
No back door.
at the end of the night, she's doing everything in the gangbang.
well, that's true. So Mike the Streetwalker is coming out of retirement. Looking forward to it.
But whoever,
should be a lot of fun.
whatever team is lucky enough to make the big game, I'm
Yes.
sure they're going to have a game plan for the start of the game. But sometimes
Right.
they change at halftime.
Well,
This is true.
And if
Yeah, this
anybody's
is
going to
true.
turn you out, I think it'll be Jimmy.
Good place to start, Rob. Start the show, you
It's the Mike O'Mara
Thanks, EQ.
Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
I got a telegram from headquarters today.
Headquarters, what is it?
Well, it's a big building where generals meet, but that's not important right now. They've cleared you of any blame for what happened on that raid. Isn't that good news?
Is it? Because of my mistake, 6 men didn't return from that raid.
7, Lieutenant Zip died this morning. But Dr. Sandler says she'll be out in a week. Isn't that wonderful?
Wish I could say the same for George Zip.
Be patient, Ted. Nobody expects you to get over this immediately. I've found a wonderful apartment for us. Has a brick fireplace and a cute little bedroom with mirrors on the ceiling and...
Red leader, I'm going down.
Captain Jolene. He thinks he's a pilot, still fighting the war.
I found the tunnel, Johnson. It's this way. $25 for a cigarette is too much.
What's his problem?
It's Lieutenant Hurwitz. Severe shell shock. Thinks he's Ethel Merman.
You'll be swell. You'll be great. Gonna have the whole world on a plate. Starting here, starting now. Honey, everything's coming up right.
War is hell.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Speedway, Oscar Santana. And now, from his easy chair, here's Mike.
And you see, youngsters, the gag is it was Ethel Merman.
I get jokes.
That's it live. From the Cappy Viper Studios from sunny Southwest Florida, our nation's capital, this is the Mike O'Mara Show, powered by Encore Insurance Services and heard daily for over 5 years at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Online, on air, and on your mobile device, the Mike O'Mara Show is a daily radio show and podcast with the greatest listeners on the planet because they get it. And if you're here, you do too. Our show today is brought to you by Sleep Number Beds. A new year is here, out with the old and in with the new. And the best way to start on the path for a better you is getting an amazing night's sleep with a Sleep Number bed. I've talked about my Sleep Number bed for years. I adore it. I have to say again, I really, really have been getting back out, getting the back in shape, trying to play golf. But my spine is in such ridiculous shape that it's always sore every night when I play
Right.
golf during the day. And the fact is, I now have to say this, and I don't know whether they're going to condone it, but I have to tell you this. The way I went to sleep last night, I was walking like a 90-year-old man. I get up in the morning, and there's they talk about the pressure points and the pressure part of the bed. I will tell you, this particular Sleep Number bed that I'm sleeping on, it repairs my back overnight. I wake up and I'm 100%. It's the most amazing thing, and I am delighted. I don't care whether they want me saying that or not because they're
your own
very
experience, Mike.
It's my own experience, but it's the truth. And the all-new Sleep Number beds are available with that wonderful Sleep IQ technology. My Sleep Number setting is a 75. Carla's is a 65. See why Sleep Number was named Best of 2014 by a leading consumer magazine. And right now, during their lowest prices of the season, you'll save $600 on the #1 rated Sleep Number i8 bed. No better sleep. Find your Sleep Number setting today only at one of the 450 Sleep Number stores nationwide. You can find one near you by calling 800-511-0061. Again, that number is 800-511-0061. And don't forget to tell them that Mike O'Mara sent you and said if you got a bad back like he does.
Scream
Sleep
it.
number. Please
Scream
do.
it. Scream it and yell it and all that.
So we are here. Paneling with us today is the successful King of the Wings, Jimmy Cerrito, and his trusted man about town, EQ, Eric, who Eric, pretty good with the one line. Eric got the kicker line to go into the body of the show. That's pretty good stuff.
Like
I like that.
You put him in the center square, Mike.
Eric, Jimmy, I got to say something about Eric.
Sure.
Eric, I have always known, Eric was born with the comedy gene. Don't you believe he was born with it? Because I think about all the times he's cracked wise with me at your fine establishment, but he's always got it. Eric makes one of the very few people that make me laugh pretty consistently.
He's good until he has about 12 drinks. Then it's all forget about it. It's not funny anymore after that.
Eric, did you quit smoking yet? Have you stopped smoking yet?
No, sure.
Eric, you have to stop. I'm telling all my friends in
Working
2015 that I want to stop. I want them to stop smoking. That's all there is.
I promise I will not smoke during the broadcast of this show.
Okay, thank you.
Attaboy.
We
You know,
sincerely appreciate
Eric
that.
and I have a game we like to play. I always am lucky enough to be invited to Jimmy's Christmas party.
Yes.
And Eric is the best guy to hang with at the Christmas
And Rob
party.
says he loves it every year.
He doesn't have to do it.
No, I love going to it. And
Hey, wait, hold on. I've got a copy. Wait a minute. I've got a copy of Jimmy's Toast. Hold
Yeah.
on. We got it from this year's
Got
Christmas
enough time?
party. Here we
Yeah.
go.
that's this year's toast, all right.
That's
but
right. Thank you.
Eric and I bet on the length of the toast.
See, the joke was it just goes on and on. That's kind of what I
We
was.
got a lot of thank yous.
Wait, you get the staff once a year.
Yeah.
You get their
Yeah.
attention once a year.
Or
so
you
it's,
could throw two
Yeah, Lord knows
parties.
they don't hear your voice during the course.
it's
of
not
the
just a
that's for
toast,
sure.
Mike. It's a
Right.
meeting.
It's
a
the one,
lecture.
Mike. It's the one time a year that
Shut
we
that
all
talk.
we all
It's
get
a
to see
lecture.
Jimmy use a microphone, and it's exciting when he gets up there, and it's always fun. And usually the over under is 20 minutes.
What was it this year, though?
It was
quick?
short. It was short this year.
It was under 10.
It was under 10.
It was under
We
10.
wanted to
Now,
get to
when
the
we-
dancing.
We all lost
Now, look,
money.
a lot of people have said, oh, you're going to Jimmy's again. I said, yeah, we're going. That's where
Where
we'll be
else
going.
will we go?
That's
You
where we
jerks.
go.
It's
I
the
mean, no,
best
that's it.
place.
I know. I look. I'm not. We're not a radio station. I'm not pretending that we're trying to go to 16 mom and pop places. We go to Jimmy's because that's where our comfort zone. I would go there on my own to
Right.
watch the game.
Yeah.
So I'm going there, and I want all
It's
the listeners to come
our
out.
cheers.
Let me ask you this, Jimmy. I
Yes,
know that
yes.
about 11 years ago, Jimmy started an addition to his restaurant where he is building a new party. He named it. He put up signs about it. He's
Yes.
been on television shows talking about it.
Yes.
But it
he
really
filed
never.
papers, Mike. He filed necessary
A lot of
paperwork.
buildup.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. A nail hasn't been hammered yet. I mean, it's just incredible. Have they bulldozed the old part? What the hell is going on with your buffalo wing? And I mean, it's just I'm frustrated. I thought that I would be returning in 2015 to the brand new wing at Jimmy's
It's
Old
really
Town.
the
Tavern.
least you could have done, Jimmy, is to have it ready for Mike's return.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
No, this is not Rome.
That's fair.
Mike,
or 7 years.
the one word is bureaucracy.
Not
Bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy. It's take.
Yeah, when you go to Jimmy's, it's a bureaucracy.
Right, am I right?
Yeah, man, am I right, fellas?
Yeah, ladies.
Well, it all started with let's hurry up and get this place open. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Remember you had that big fundraiser we all talked
Oh,
about
we're still
it?
doing that.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
that's still happening.
Okay.
Still buy us-
Jimmy'sBuffaloing.com.
We
Thank
can
you.
still buy a sticker.
Yeah. I'll give you a free one, Rob.
And incidentally, feel free to put your hand up and tell me to stop talking if you don't want me to ask about this. But I'm just
No.
curious.
I
about
want to
it.
tell you what's going on.
Okay.
So, but we want to do it right. So every time we turn a corner, we say, well, do we want to do it this way or this way? Like a question. Do you like hardwood floor or do you like a tile floor that looks like hardwood? Well, let's look into it. Let's ask 100 people. Let's go to
Or
10,000 websites.
Do you like pasties
I would go with the-
or nudes?
There's decisions to be made.
Oscar's all
Decisions.
horned up today. Have you
No,
noticed
I
that?
mean,
I
a
mean, it's
restaurant, you
the-
got to get a certain license, right?
After
Exactly.
comparing me to a prostitute, now he's talking about do you like pasties or well, I would go with the tile floor that looks like hardwood because you're
Like
gonna
I
get a lot
said,
of-
if anybody's
Is that what
gonna
O'Mara's
turn you
had?
out,
It's going to be Jimmy.
it's going to be Jimmy.
What's the
so-
timeline here? That's a good, fair question.
But we are this close, this close to
what?
America, to getting approval finally, so that we can hammer a nail. It's gone through the health department.
Yeah.
Had to go on there.
It's gone to the Fairfax County Fire Marshal's office. All right, and
The
now
mayor's
And incidentally, I'm
office?
keeping it in my pants here because the fact is I could go off right now because I know what he's dealing with.
It's nuts.
And I know you run a bar in the wonderful
Yeah.
Commonwealth of
It's nuts.
Nazi Virginia. I'm sorry, Northern Virginia, and see what it's like to try to deal with the rules, the local rules and regulations,
And it's further
the people that
complicated
gravitate to it
by
It's
the fact that it's a historical building, right?
It went through the Historical Society. We had to pass all that. The guy who's driving the train is Rich Hostelli, Biker Rich, the architect.
If
and
you
he'll
want to
tell
know
you-
Biker Rich, if you watch The Celebrity Apprentice,
Yes.
a blonder version
Rich.
of Rich Hostelli, and Carl and I were talking about this watching the show. Rich Hostelli is a blonder version of Lorenzo Lamas.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
Jimmy, you
God.
have to watch.
Dreamboat.
You
No,
I
have,
regret being
taller.
straight.
No, hold on a second. You have to watch this show and tell me if the man. And I'm not talking about the pure looks. I'm talking about the complete mannerisms.
Yeah.
This guy is a doppelganger for Rich Hostelli.
All right.
And Rich is the guy that rode out to Sturgis with Jimmy and I, and it is so funny to see the way he is because Rich is a can-do guy, but he's a super mellow guy who steps up when he needs to step up. I've been out with the guy in a lot of situations. So he's the guy that's kind of handling all your plans and running through the
He's the
county
lead
and all that.
architect. Uncle Dave was the original architect, but
What happened to him?
I believe the quote was,
Did you say Uncle Dave was the original lead
yes,
architect?
yes, when we started the project back in 1960.
That was for the White House.
Yeah.
He's an architect, but
Give me the plans. I'll get it through. I'm Uncle Dave. Yeah, all right. Sorry.
you don't need plumbing. Can't do it without me. Don't need floors.
Wait,
I can see Uncle Dave. Can you see Uncle Dave going to a planning meeting? You know, where are your outlets going to be? Well, where are your outlets going to be?
yeah, right.
Where are your
Mike, Rich Hostelli got us through the Historical Society meeting, the town hearing, all those big shots up on.
all
and-
right, how many people on that board?
but-
How many people were there at that meeting?
Oh, there was like 14 of them up there.
14?
When the meeting started and
But
Uncle
wait.
Dave came in, did they say he was the thing they were protecting?
Yeah. Rob, no. Rich couldn't make it to the meeting, so Uncle Dave stood in for him, and Uncle Dave represented Jimmy's at this meeting.
I think you're all full of crap. I think you're all full of crap, and I don't think this is. I don't recognize your authority. I don't recognize your authority, Mr. Chairman.
It was not good.
All right, well, we'll talk more about Jimmy's Old Town Tavern because this is neat. I don't get a chance to get Jimmy in studio very often. We'll take a break, and we will come back with more fun and more thrills. Also, get well wishes to a fellow disc jockey with a medical condition that I can relate to. We'll take a break. Come back on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Hello, this is Matt Bloom. You know, Pony Boy. We wanted to bring some sizzle to the mailbag, so they brought me in, Mr. Excitement, to really get you guys riled up. If you want to get in on the red-hot action, just send an email to rob@mikeomarashow.com. That's Rob with 2 B's. Or if you like mail, P.O. Box 2796, Leesburg, Virginia 20177. I hate mail. It's too slow. I crave action. So if you have a question or comment, send it along. And now, time for a nap.
Sleep well, Pony. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Hey, small business owners, this is big. Right now at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 business cards for just $9.99 when you enter promo code TMOS at checkout. You heard me right, $9.99. They've done you better.
Perfect.
500 business cards. If you're like me down here, I don't think I've ever in my lifetime handed out more business cards because I'm meeting new people every single day, and it's a wonderful way to promote your business. And I'm going to be designing new ones with Vistaprint because for $9.99 and 500 cards, who wouldn't do that? Vistaprint makes it easy to create a card that's right for you. Pick from tons of designs, add your info, and you're on your way to the card that's perfect. They're fun to create, and you can even upgrade to their signature stock or add a fancy finish or even raised print.
Whoa!
Vistaprint also offers tons of other products too, from marketing materials. I feel like, seriously, I'm doing a show at a daycare center right now. There is more movement and motion going on than you would see at my son's nursery school on Sunday, on Church Sunday. Vistaprint also has tons of other products too, from marketing materials to custom apparel. Plus, all of their products are 100% guaranteed. If you're not happy, Vistaprint will make it right. With business cards on sale, $9.99, there's never been a better time to professionally promote your business. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code TMOS to get this offer. Jimmy, get yourself some cards at Vistaprint. You should check it out.
Yeah, Jimmy.
I think
I've been trying to do that.
To us. We're good to go.
I did buy a whole bunch of bar stools from Amazon.com through the Mike.
Now, wait, Eric, Eric, are those Vistaprint cards?
No.
Oh, God. You are such a mook. Have another beer. Welcome back. I do want to send get well wishes out to, I read this on the DCR TV website.
You know, Mike, this is to me, I did not check that website this morning, so this for me is breaking news. Is one of our brethren ailing?
I cannot believe that Jack Diamond, as of last week, had flown back from Chicago, where he's now doing the morning show at WLS.
Right.
And he is being treated for, and may have surgery soon, for diverticulitis.
Oh.
Is there, Rob, okay, this is on the heels. Oscar and Rob, I'm going to talk to you guys about this. Oscar's had an ulcer. Rob's had ulcerative colitis.
Yes.
I've had diverticulitis. I have it right now. I might have to have surgery for it. The fact is there some, the other day we had the list of most stressful jobs. There has to be, there's now just too much correlation. Buzz had diverticulitis.
Right.
You had ulcerative colitis. I had diverticulitis. Oscar's had an ulcer.
We
is a
we joked
correlation
this week
between
about
it.
Rob Ford's stomach blowing up because he lost the Tony Perkins show.
Right.
But I think what it is no doctor will tell you that stomach distress is, a correlation
Psychological.
with stress. However, no doctor will also admit that teething causes a kid to have a fever. Yet every kid that's teething has a fever.
100%.
Well, no, I think that's unfair because a lot of doctors now will tell you your gut is your second, really your second brain.
Oh my God, I must be brilliant.
So
No, wait, I want to hear this. This is that he's doing. Really? I've never heard that. I've never heard that.
So because the sensors that are in your gut, just like when you hurt, when you have a headache or your gut, or when you're a kid, you get nervous, your stomach hurts.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. That's the reason. I think a lot of studies have come out and have said that to that effect, that it's your second brain. And some say that your gut has more sensors than your brain does because of the way that your body's affected by stress.
Wow.
Well, to Jack, I wish you the very, very best. It absolutely blew me out of the water when I read this because I just couldn't. And I guess he had it years ago. He had it a long time ago, like I did.
Wow.
It's a very
and it doesn't ever
strange
truly
situation.
go away. I mean, you're always at risk once you have the diagnosis, right?
Yeah, it's because the actual area of the colon that is not right
It's weakened.
doesn't. It's not like where I think you can regenerate your lungs and stuff if you quit smoking and all that stuff. But no, this kind of stays there, and it's just you can manage it. But I just couldn't believe that. So I have no idea. The very last, I was checking his Facebook page last night, and the last I read was that he was consulting with doctors, and they were going to make a decision about surgery over the weekend. So I have no idea where he stands with that.
Well, his pain, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And so Godspeed. Hope
Wish him all the best.
Yeah.
Jack can.
Good luck, buddy.
That's
Why you guys, can I ask why EQ and Jimmy are toasting that?
I think to Jack's health.
To the
to
health.
Jack's health. Okay,
Yeah.
They're very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Godspeed to your next radio gig.
It's amazing if you look at Jack, he really does look like he has a life of clean living, and then you look at Jimmy, who's never had a problem in his life.
It's true. I'm very healthy.
I saw an interview with Sharon Osbourne where she talked about this genetic study that was done on him and
Ozzy's wife?
on Ozzy and Sharon, and it cost almost $1 million. It was almost $800,000, the genetic study, and it could actually break down what proclivities they might have had to cancer or different diseases.
How likely they
Kind
are
of the future of medicine, right? I mean,
but
they're
it's
talking about
it's
genetics.
so
more and more.
expensive right now that it's only a handful of people can do this.
Actually,
right?
Mike, I ran the numbers. It's cheaper to get cancer.
So because you know that Sharon's son
Rob can make a cancer joke. His kid had it.
Sharon's son had an issue, etc. Right?
Right on.
So and Sharon's battled two different types of cancers. So she wanted to know. And the study that they had showed that Ozzy's genes were so perfect that he could not, like, he was bulletproof, and Sharon's jeans were so messed up that she.
Well, that's why you look at a guy like Steven
Not
Tyler, and you say you look at Steven Tyler, who's
Keith
67, and Keith Richards, the guys that have done heroin, I mean,
Right.
hard drugs, and you read the amount of alcohol and drugs and how much they did, and meanwhile you see Keith, in his 50s, chain smoking up on stage, still isn't he?
Yeah,
Still
he
smoking?
still smokes. Yeah.
And then you hear, I got the audiobook of Keith Richards, and you're hearing Mick and I went over.
Oh no,
when
reads
he
his
would
own
laugh.
audiobook?
Have you ever heard him interviewed and laugh? Have you ever heard
Oh
Keith
yeah,
Richards when he
sounds
said,
like right before
haven't.
they implode a building. The
Yes.
sound of crumbling architecture.
Oh.
That's the way his laugh
it
sounds.
is the
Keith.
consummate death rattle? That's exactly
It
what
was
it
Keith
is.
Richards that snorted his own father's ashes, wasn't it?
No, that was a joke. That never really
Oh.
happened.
Really? I've always thought that was true. No.
I thought that was a true story.
I didn't think that was true, and I thought that was manufactured, and that the rap band that
I'll
was
look
going
it
to.
up.
Please do.
Yes.
There was also a bunch of rappers that said they were going to smoke one of their rap member.
One of
band-
the brothers?
Yeah,
One of the
gu-
homies?
One of the guys that was cremated from their organization that they were going to smoke him as in a marijuana cigarette, Mike.
Sure.
Are there any, Jimmy, being a bar owner and you have
Yes.
people coming into your joint, and during the day, Jimmy has
bring that
he's got the four people that sit at his bar.
Oh,
that
I've
are
been
all-
there, like,
they're
the
like in their
lunchtime
late
crowd.
20s, but they all look 80. Yes.
Breaking
go ahead.
news: Keith Richards confirms in a 2010 interview that he did snort his father's ashes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
He
I
did
believe
do
it.
He did do it.
There you go.
Definitely did do it.
All right, let me
Hey,
change.
Dad.
I gotta
Hey, Dad,
change
you're
my
on alert.
Gotta change my bucket list.
Somebody call my father. Let him know you might want to change as well.
Jimmy, do you have any specimens at your fine establishment that you see them every day and you're marveling that they're still above ground?
Yeah, every
Besides
day.
Uncle Dave?
But they're the glue that keeps Jimmy's open because we do a good lunch business.
I'm
a
not
good
trying to
dinner
diss
business.
your customers.
No,
I'm just
these
saying,
guys are the guys, right?
Steady
Larry
Eddies.
and
Yeah.
Mo,
down the road Mike and
Homer.
they all got their
Dude, what do you mean
nicknames.
down the road, Mike? You mean
It's
that
not
his
you.
name?
Yeah, that's his name. There's
I thought you were referring to where
everybody's
I
got
would
a
be in
nickname.
some
No, not you.
like in my 70s.
but they all have nicknames all the way across the board.
I
The
wanna-
bartenders
One of my
have named
greatest
them all.
one of my greatest fears, by
They
the way,
pay
is
the
that
bills.
I'm sitting at your bar, and I've moved back to Northern Virginia. It's like, and I sit there going, yeah. Back in the day. There's a saying they have on the golf course.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful saying. I think it can
Loft?
apply to a lot of different things in
Not
life.
loved.
The older I get, the better I was.
Yeah, that
and
makes
that
sense.
is so true.
I've been blessed to have lunch at Jimmy's several times, and the most common thing said at the bar, and it's a simple square-shaped bar, and there's maybe 5 stools that are parallel to the street. Those are the first stools to be filled.
hand-hewn.
Exactly.
Hand-hewn bar.
That's right. From Mike rescued from an old barn, a turn
Right,
of the century
right.
barn, and
in upstate Vermont.
the most common thing said by all these regulars from 11 a.m. to 2
Can I have
p.m.
another?
is, ah.
A lot of people, and really, if you want to,
Oh, I love
and that's
that.
why this is an amazing tourist attraction. If you want to know how Jimmy put the bar together,
It's a tourist attraction.
It's a tourist attraction. It's a hand-hewn bar.
It is.
made from the caskets of exhumed non-believers.
Exactly, and it was actually varnished with their blood.
Yes, it
And
was.
The not the entire bar stool, but the
Right.
feet of the bar stool are
Right.
actually made of the bones of extinct animals.
Yes, yeah, and they're not human, so
No,
don't get all
no.
don't get your
Don't get all
your
PETA on us.
panties in a wad
Peter
about
involved
that.
in it. No.
Yeah.
They
So
were
Jimmy,
already
what's
dead.
We're a tourist attraction,
When last
yes.
we checked, when last we checked in with you,
Yes.
we were talking about the progress of your place. Do you have any? I know you're terrified
Timeline.
of
Timeline.
projecting a timeline, but I know Mr. Santana
Yeah.
wants to hear it, and I'd like
Yeah.
to hear it. So, do you have any idea when people might
wanna
be
be there
walking
for it.
into the new section? That's
right.
God, I love your place, but boy, does any place need a new section?
Yeah, I can't
I'm
wait to
done
see our new
guessing.
brick.
I'm done guessing.
What are you hoping for?
I've been
2 years ago?
I've been hoping for 6 months, for
Okay.
2 years, and
Okay,
I don't
okay.
know. We're this close to getting approval, and I
So
did
you're
get
still
approval.
waiting for what's the last approval you
Town
need?
of Herndon.
The town of Herndon.
Oh, wow.
Guess what I
but
did get
you
though?
love the mayor, and the mayor loves you though.
Mayor's got nothing to do
Right,
with it.
but yeah, she
But
she
she can
doesn't
go
know
in-
plumbing as well.
No power.
She can't go in and swing her big Merkel stick and make it happen.
They do listen to her and they do whatever
She's
she
a
says.
powerful
So
lady,
it
right?
should get through Herndon quick. It just
Good.
went in
All right,
December
Let him
31st.
answer, for Christ's sake, Rob. God, when you two are in the studio, I'm going to
I
get a
love
headache.
you.
Swear to God. All right, go ahead, Jimmy.
Something big did happen, though, for the Buffalo Wing, and it's taken over a year to get it, and that is the loan. The loan.
Yeah.
An M&T Bank from Buffalo, New York came through.
You got a bank from Buffalo?
Yeah. They have more confidence than I do. They said, Jimmy, here, let's build this place. Let's get it going.
Well, the true
That's big.
The true story is that there was a regional manager over at Tyson's Corner who had to call up to Buffalo for headquarters, and the guys in Buffalo said, "You talking about the Jimmy Cerrito?"
That's right.
Oh,
right.
my God. That is
good.
awesome.
Good, man.
So your bank loan was approved?
Got the bank loan. We're this close to getting the approval, and then we're going right in, and
Hold
it should
on.
be
Stop,
a year.
stop.
A year.
I need to walk you through this, please.
A year.
Did you get the loan? And you said you
Yes.
got the bank loan. We're this close to approval.
No,
Do you mean
okay.
Oh, no.
right.
you were approved for the bank loan?
Yes.
And you are this close to approval from the town to
Yes.
start construction?
Yes.
Okay, and now let me ask this: you're a nice guy, you're an affable guy, you're a tough guy when you need to be, and a nice guy.
A big heart. He's got a big heart.
I do.
I'd like
fire
to tell
people.
you. I'd like to tell you a story of two construction projects. We have the front gate of Cocoonville down here that to date does not have a sign out in front. It has not been completed. It is a construction project that I estimated with the right crew could have been accomplished, and I'm going to be generous here, in 3 weeks easily. It's been 3 months that they've done this. Nothing happens. Meanwhile, you look to the right where 1 million acres was excavated by the Walmart Corporation like a month ago, and the walls are up at the Walmart already. They have done, I've never seen anything, morning, noon, and night, Sundays included. My question to you, you are going to be, with the bank loan, this money primarily is coming out of your deep pockets because you're going to have the loan for it. Are you going to ride these guys and not be Jimmy everybody's friend?
It'll be
because I
okay.
think your
Who's your
customers want to
foreman?
see this. Who's going to be? Is Rich going to be supervising this?
Here we go.
No, Rich is definitely on board, and he's definitely leading the project. But Chuck Brown from CD.
Chuck Brown?
Chuck
Oh, the
Brown.
inventor of
Go-Go music?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Rob, you got to find some Chuck Brown
Glad
music.
you're bringing him back, DC legend.
That's right.
You know him from the Christmas party at Jimmy's, Rob.
Yeah.
He's the guy that gets ripped by 9 p.m.
So who is
He's the
Chuck Brown?
contractor.
Okay.
And he's old school Manassas. And he works directly for me and for the landlord. And he's got it going on. We're gonna get it going, man.
Hey,
It's gonna happen.
is it a compliment when someone says he's old school Manassas?
Yeah, it's high praise.
That means he graduated from high school in the 70s in Manassas.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chuck
Miss
Brown. I want to make sure that we get a Buffalo Wing all built here right now at
What's up, bro?
Jimmy's.
You want to go?
Yeah, that's right, everybody. Crank that up, Rob. We're all going to join hands right now. Take a look. You go to Herndon, Virginia, take a left-hand turn right off of Eldon Street, and you're going to be checking out Jimmy's Buffalo Wing, Jimmy's Old Town Tavern. Kick it!
Give a lot just to get what you need sometimes, y'all.
Wow.
That was great.
fantastic.
That was impressive.
But Mike, the key
I
to
consider
success.
old school Manassas to be a compliment. All of my old school Manassas friends were the best friends I ever had.
That's right. Because you don't see, Mike, when you talk about Manassas new money, you don't see them. You don't see them building fences out of bicycles.
No.
Speaking of old school Manassas
That's the greatest
and
house ever.
Yeah, the greatest.
speaking of old school Manassas and bars,
Yeah.
I received a text yesterday from a phone number I do not recognize. I hope this shows up.
Yeah.
When I'm going to show you this directly off of my phone. I received a text yesterday from a phone number I have no idea, and the text says, "Found this upstairs in the storage." So I'm gonna think maybe it was the guy Dave that owns my joint now.
Yeah, it could be.
You know, but this is what he finds, and I'm gonna show it to you right now. It's the old O'Mara's
Oh, isn't that
2006 O'Mara's restaurant calendars,
Hey.
which we spent like $5,000 for.
Oh, no.
And they're just tons of them, but nobody bought them.
School teachers.
Nobody bought
Hey,
them
can
at
you?
all.
That sounds familiar. Could you send that over to me so we can use it as a show pick, if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
I will
What about
send
the
that to you
wings as
right
a
now.
show pick, Oscar? What happened?
That might work as well.
I mean, I brought them all the way. It'll
Mike,
be okay.
Those are all school teachers that used to work there, right?
Yeah, I think they were just all innocent, wonderful school teachers. Oscar, you should be getting that soon. Oscar will show you guys that picture. We'll take a break. Come back with more. I would like to talk about the French. The French. When we come back on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. We have a brand new sponsor on the Mike O'Mara Show. It's called Vegas.com.
Yeah.
And there is no place like Las Vegas, and nobody does Vegas like Vegas.com. It is the way to book Vegas from the inside. What do I mean by that? Real simple. A lot of travel services, a lot of people that help you pick hotels, pick places to go, pick venues to see entertainment, do not live in the town that they are sending you to. That's not the case with Vegas.com. They are all from Las Vegas, so they know how to save you money on all the hot shows, tours, attractions, VIP bottle service at the top clubs. You will get the lowest rate on your hotel thanks to Vegas.com's Drop Watch tool. Let's say your hotel rate drops after you book it. They tell you so you can rebook, and Vegas.com refunds the difference. There's no place like Las Vegas when it comes to opportunities for great deals, and the people at Vegas.com have your back. It gets better. Go to Vegas.com right now, and when you book hotels, shows, even jumping off the Stratosphere Hotel,
Yes.
Just enter the code TMOS in the promo box at checkout and get an extra 10% off everything but air hotel packages. That's Vegas.com, and get your bonus savings with our secret code TMOS. This is a new sponsor, folks. If you're planning a trip to Vegas, use them. Tell them you used them from us, and that'll help us a lot. Vegas.com. The only place. Go ahead. Yes,
sorry, I just want to add, if you're going out for business, you can use these as well and save your company 10%.
Absolutely.
Vegas.com, the only place to get insider information from the Vegas trip, for the Vegas trip of your lifetime. Please do that, and we thank you. Okay, yes, Rob Spiewak.
I wanted to just give everyone an update. We are now 45 minutes into the show. Mac is still standing but starting to sway.
Sit right here, Mac.
There is no one in the world that loves
Sit
to
on Jimmy's lap, Mac. Go
more
ahead.
than Mac, our intern. Oh, man.
There you go.
What is
Well,
that?
maybe it's because he's wearing that ski cap indoors. We are joined by EQ and Jimmy Cerrito of Jimmy's Old Town Tavern.
Hello.
Want to remind everybody that we're going to be out there for the big Super Bowl bash Sunday, February 1st. We love Jimmy's Old Town Tavern. So many of our listeners from around the country have been out there and checked it out, and we want to see you there. I'd like to really, I really don't think that I'm asking too much when I say we'd like to get the biggest crowd we have ever had
5
at
years.
Jimmy's Old Town Tavern.
A nice
okay?
welcome back party.
5th anniversary.
I've got the O'Mara's ladies.
Oh,
Here
nice.
we go.
There we are.
Hey, did you hire those models, or are they like stock?
They
photos?
were waitresses.
Or
they
did
were
Jimmy
waitresses.
turn 'em
I think
out?
they were waitresses and people that would come to the restaurant. I think they were
Not old school Manassas, Oscar.
No, that's
Not at
new,
all.
That's new money.
Ship them in from
Who
Fairfax.
would wrangle these girls and say, "Hey, you want to be in the calendar?"
Oscar, perhaps when we're sitting at Jimmy's late at night, I'll tell you the whole story. Who wrangled that?
Hey, Mike, you know, you said
And I'll
that-
also tell you the stories about how you wrangled girls like that back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yes, EQ. Yeah,
Mike,
go ahead.
You just mentioned how we get your listeners coming in from all over the country that come to Jimmy's, and I want you to know how absolutely true that is. I mean, there are literally T-Moss fans that come in from I don't know,
Everywhere.
Alaska,
Everywhere.
and they come in and they seek us out,
cool.
and they go. I was in D.C.
Where did Mike take a poop? I want to look
I
through
was
the crack.
in D.C.
They want to get a bite. They want to see what Jimmy's is
It
all
only
about.
took me 2 trains and a taxi to get here, but I had to come
That's
here.
cool.
And thank you so much, man, for everything you guys do
Yeah.
for us. And
Thank you, man.
and thank you all you
A half
hardcore
a dozen-
T-Moss listeners. 'cause
A
it's
half a
awesome.
dozen times on a Saturday afternoon, my phone will ring, and it'll be Jimmy, and I'll pick up, and he'll say, "Hold on, someone's here from Iowa,
Yeah.
wants to say hi." Just
And
put
it's
me on the
awesome.
phone.
That's
It's
sweet.
great. I love it.
That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Let me give you the number for reservations because we do recommend that if you because I have noticed as the years have gone by, the Mike O'Mara Show audience is a sitting audience.
Yes.
They are. They're not big standers like Mac is. Reservations are recommended 703-435-JIMS. That's 703-435-5467 or email Jimmy at jimmystavern.com.
No.
We'll see you at
No.
6. No? Is that
It's
do you mean
Jimmy at jimmystavern.com. Thank you. And
Oh,
that was
okay.
the whole joke on your thread was because you're like Jimmy,
Jimmy
Jimmy,
at
Jimmy, but it's Jimmy at Jimmy's Tavern. Can I just plug real quick, Mike? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah, hold on. Anyway,
they can Facebook message me if
Oh,
anybody
here
wants
we
to make
go.
a reservation.
Yes.
Go to Facebook, find me, and send me an instant
or
message.
they can email you at jimmy@jimmystavern.com.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
It's really a very confusing email.
I know.
Yeah, the
because
Jock Goose wanted
you
you
so
to use
wanted
the
to get
Facebook.
Jimmy in there as many times as you can.
Well, yeah.
You know.
Because it's all about me.
You too.
Jimmy's Old Town Tavern, where everyone is treated like a regular.
Thank you.
All right. Very good.
no,
Okay.
no,
That's
no,
terrific.
no.
I'm looking forward to being out there. All right.
wow.
The turn.
I'm flying in. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast.
Jeep rooms. Call me for Jeep rooms, folks. Holiday Inn.
I think that what's wonderful about this next thing I want to tell you about is that I remember when the boycott happened and everybody was talking about freedom fries and how the French weren't supporting us. And the
French.
I think it is very logical right now to pose the question, do the French have more balls than we do? And I believe the answer would be, today at least, a resounding yes. When this magazine, is it Charlie Hebdo? Charlie Hebdo was attacked last week. And I will tell you something. A magazine that sells 50,000 copies for each printing sold 3 million copies yesterday, and they lined up to get the copies of this magazine. They're basically flipping off the people that did this, and I think this is absolutely incredible. And anything you needed to know about the balls of the French and the way we handle things with our media in America would be coverage on NBC when they showed this story and they talked about the fact that Charlie Hebdo was actually selling 3 million copies and that the French people were lining up to get copies of this magazine. And then NBC said, we will not be able to show you the cover of the magazine.
Because they're too busy with their puppy, Mike.
They're too busy with their puppy. We got to get our act together.
Yeah,
we
and
really do.
It goes beyond the fact that they are buying this issue. I don't think that Americans would care enough to support a 50,000 issue satirical, politically based magazine. I don't think there's that much interest in world affairs, and I'm sadly at the front of the line, but I think that is the national mindset, is that they wouldn't care enough to support a magazine that's out there pointing out what's wrong in the world. So just beyond the fact that they sold 3 million copies today, 2 weeks ago, I don't think we could put out a satire magazine in America and have it succeed. I don't think there's the interest.
I agree with you. It's tough. Well, I think that this magazine, it's not just about the magazine. It's about freedom of speech.
Absolutely. And beautiful, and just an amazing response. We talk about when there's a tragedy, we pull together in this country, and I think we do.
We do.
But I think that we are doing it less and less and less. We're getting more people that are louder and more people that are less informed and more people that are reactionary, and we're getting less people that I think come to the forefront that have reasonable things to say. And we tend to look, the fact that we're as divided a country as we are is weakening us. And if we don't realize that, and we don't wake up and realize that it's time to stop supporting your team or my team or whatever team you choose and coming together, this to me was a wonderful example of a country coming together. And just
Also,
I just wanted to throw in a side note on this. I really do try to like the president that I voted for.
Yep.
But what the F, man? I mean, seriously, what the F? I realized that there were leaders from other countries that may have human rights violations when they had this unity rally, but we needed to show the flag there. We needed to send somebody there, not blow it off like we did.
But it's not
that's
just
what. Yes, go ahead.
It's not just this administration. This has gone on for a while. Remember, there was the funeral that Dick Cheney went to, and everyone that was representing their country looked nice in their coats and their formal wear because they were showing respect to a past leader. And Dick Cheney showed up in a parka and boots. And you know what? That's just a tremendous misstep, and that goes back 10 years.
Well,
so
I think that if we don't have unity in our own country, we could show it internationally. And I think that that's what they ran on. That's one of the things they ran on when they ran for office. What were you going to say, Oscar?
The cover,
you're chomping at the bit over there.
The cover isn't bad. It's
it's not bad at all.
It's in French. They could have shown it on NBC.
Yeah, they could have.
It said all is forgiven if you translate it, and they have a picture of Muhammad holding the "I am Charlie" translated with a little sign that says that. You saw a lot of people showing their respects last week in France, holding up.
Je suis
yeah. So
I mean, a unity rally. I mean, it's fantastic. I
So-
think a unity rally is a great idea.
the one thing I thought, if take away the optics from this, right, that the president wasn't there and just our ambassador was there, I think that this really opens up a whole new. It's a whole new ball game as far as ISIS is concerned and all these extremists, because before I felt like when we would talk about politics, the U.S. would always go in and say, okay, enough is enough. And then you'd be in front of the United Nations and it would be almost a twisting of arms to say, okay, how many troops are you bringing? How many troops are you bringing? Now it's game on. They are not messing around.
And
The way
strike
that they
while the
voted-
iron's hot.
The way
Strike
that they
while the iron's
voted
hot.
yesterday, what's happening in France right now, a country who we talked about, you mentioned earlier, Freedom Fries, who never it felt, at least to me from the outside looking in, wanted to step up and play ball.
And
Now it's
really
playing ball.
reserves judgment on conflict more than
Yes.
any nation. I
Yep.
mean, they truly do, to a fault sometimes. And I think we can accept that. But the fact is now they're like, okay, enough of that. You've got moderate Muslim leaders over there that are saying, hey, if you sympathize with these people or you're feeling this, you just get out. Just leave. If you don't believe in free speech and freedom of expression, that you don't belong in this country. And I believe that.
You
I
talk
believe that with all
about,
my heart.
they sometimes one of their faults perhaps is reserving judgment when it takes too long. Just occurred to me for the French, this is their 9/11. This is terrorism
Absolutely.
on their
Absolutely.
soil. And
Right.
I hate to look at anything positive that came out of 9/11, but if there was one thing, it might have been the last time that I felt this country coming together. And that disaster in New York City brought us together, even Joe briefly, as a nation. And you know what? This disaster on French soil is doing the same
can happen
thing.
anywhere.
It can.
I get it.
It can.
Listen, I know people get pissed when I talk about politics, but I did something that
This
I
is
rarely.
international affairs.
And this is
but I
outside
rarely
of
do.
ball.
freedom of
I rarely
speech.
do
This is
it.
how we make our living too. So
There's an FM station down here, the right wing FM station that broadcasts all the regular players, the regular suspects like
Mitt FM?
Rush Limbaugh. It's Fox News
okay,
Radio,
sorry.
and they broadcast
107.3 The Mitt.
the Mitt Radio. They broadcast Rush,
Right.
and it's been a long time since I listened in.
Right.
You guys know that after I got out of the biz, I really don't pay much attention to the biz as far as listening.
Right on.
I listen to stuff just if it happens to be on. I've been listening, and one thing occurred to me that both sides need to get their act together. It is all about blame. It's blame, 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 blame constantly. And I would imagine that there is a segment of the population that gets caught up in that because it's easy. It's easy to understand. It's easy to blame somebody. It's easy to make somebody the enemy.
Yep.
But ultimately, when I was watching that unity rally, I was saying to myself, man, do we need that in this country? Do we need a unity rally with everybody to throw out the team? But would it be safe to say, I'll throw this out at you guys, that we are a hyper-competitive society?
Yeah.
That it is all about competition.
Yeah.
That everything is every single Food Network show you watch now is competition. The Apprentice, which I watch and I find a very good television show, but it's hyper competitive. It's screw them. They should die. I should live. And that's
if
all
you
we
take
do.
that energy of competition and put it towards, making a cake or a cupcake, that's fine. But if you take hyper competitiveness and put it towards bettering our nation, you know what happens? You focus on competing, and the bettering of the nation becomes the second priority. And it's no good. It's negative.
I agree with you, Rob.
It's
I totally
negative.
agree with you. Yeah. And
Thank
I
you,
just
Jimmy.
wish. I don't know, man. I mean, every single. And look, I realize I play a lot of golf now, and the golfing communities around the country. Look, it is a particular political belief system. At least it has been
Liberal
for every
Nazis with golf clubs.
every experience I've ever had, and I'm used to it, and I deal with it. But the first question I get when I say I do a podcast and I do like what's that, a radio show, and then it's like, oh, political.
Yeah.
And
No.
that's what
Yeah.
people are.
What is he like,
conditioned
Sean
to believe.
Hannity?
That's what they
Yeah.
want.
Yep.
Not necessarily that politics, because you can agree or disagree on the politics, but they want to know if that's what it is, because it's become showbiz.
Yep.
It's not about anything other than that.
Not
And when I
really.
see another country and all the world leaders and the unity rally, I pine for it, man. I want it. I want to see it. I want
There is
to
a
see it
lot
in our
of that.
country.
I guess And you could actually, I'd love to hear your opinion on this. I was upset that the president didn't show for that, but I wasn't really that mad because I said, you know what, we've been showing up with our troops and our young men fighting over there.
And it's tough to make that to argue that point. That is true. We've stepped up, I think, with
for
the
years
airstrikes,
now.
and
We've been fighting this war on terror.
It's ceremonial, but I'm kind of big on the ceremonial. I'm kind of big on that. They talk about the great ones are the ones that kind of get that element of being present.
But we're putting lives on the line on a daily basis.
Totally agree.
That is a valid point, but I also agree with Mike. Is that, you know what, ceremony is what politics was initially built on.
Well, he's already been elected. What does he care? He's got to stay at the union to prepare for. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. But your point is well taken. But I still would like to see that Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan element used, and we're never going to get it out of this
Well, because
president.
we thought he was going to be Bill Clinton.
Right.
Yeah,
right. We thought
did.
that's who we thought we had.
Thought he was going to be that guy that had the charisma, and he doesn't. He's a smart guy, but he doesn't. I wish we had it, but we're not going to get that. But I'd sure like to see the United States have one big ass nationwide unity rally, and I think we should start it at Jimmy's Old
That's
Town.
right.
I believe that'd be good.
February 1st.
Big unity
February
rally with
1st.
65-cent wings.
That's a good deal, by the way.
Hey, nobody
that is
said
so
it wasn't-
insincere. If I said yes, come out to our Super Bowl party where we'll have our unity rally.
Yeah, at halftime.
Right.
We'll start a
How many
revolution.
Democrats do we have? How many conservatives? How many liberals? How many socialists?
Yes.
Everybody join hands and suck face. Yes, sir. Should be great. We'll take a break.
Uncle Dave will
Come
be
back
happy.
with Jimmy and Eric and everybody and news you may not need on the Mike O'Mara Show.
News.
It's Tony and Gary.
Hey, I'm Tony Perkins.
Hey, I'm young Gary Stein.
And on the next episode of our show, Gary tells an amazing story, a very funny story about meeting Lana Turner.
That's right.
Man, she was va-va-va-boom.
Where are your hands?
Why do I always do that?
I don't know.
Va-va-va-boom.
I know where they are.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about. Subscribe at iTunes and listen at TonyPerkinsShow.com.
The Tony Perkins Show.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Mack Weldon. Men's underwear, essentially the same for years. What do you feel the materials that Mack Weldon uses for their underwear? They're here to upgrade your underwear drawer for 2015. Make a resolution to change your underwear. The guys at Mack Weldon thought that underwear could be made better, and they did it. Had a listener last night share a beautiful picture of those gray socks.
Love the socks.
I love those socks. I truly do. The guys at Mack Weldon thought the underwear could be made better, and they did it. Great undershirts, too, but I'm in love with their socks. Seamless, cushioned footbeds. Ooh. Super comfortable, and they stay up always. MackWeldon.com has great multi-packs and starter kits as well. Here's a special deal just for our listeners. Go to MackWeldon.com and enter the code TMOS for $5 off, plus free expedited shipping on orders over $50. Buy more, save more. Remember that name, MackWeldon.com. That's MackWeldon.com, and we thank you.
News.
There it is.
News.
Boo. Boo.
Hey, can we see that? Oh, yeah, a sheep.
What? You want a sheep in there?
I love it.
That's it. No more news. That's all I need. Thank you very much. Ticketmaster is offering refunds for 2 Bill Cosby shows scheduled in Denver. He's still doing it. He's still out there doing shows. I think he's out of his mind. Organizers say the performances will go on. Patton called it a long time ago, and I agree. Something bad's going to happen. I just believe that with all my heart. And now that he's back in the United States doing this, these are the first shows since it really exploded. KUSA TV reported Tuesday that more than 3,000 tickets have been sold to the shows. You know, a large percentage of that is going to be the people that are there to F with the community.
Even in Canada, they were talking about blocks of tickets being bought by protesters. And when they show up in a mass, there's definite ingredient for disaster.
Yeah, and if it's just protests, that's okay. I worry. Look, the guys, if any of these allegations prove to be true, he's a monster. But I just don't want to see something really ridiculous that could have been avoided if his people told him to stay the F home, which he should be doing right now. So we'll wait and see what happens. A former state prosecutor who secured a civil rights injunction against a young Mark Wahlberg. I don't know if you guys have heard this story. After he hurled rocks and racial epithets at black school children, says he should not be pardoned for attacks on 2 Asian men 2 years later. He's trying to get his name cleared.
Right.
He's on a real quest to do this. Judith Beals, a former Massachusetts assistant attorney, said Tuesday she believes in forgiveness and reconciliation. I got to get her name right. She is the assistant attorney general. But Wahlberg's request should be denied because he hasn't acknowledged the racial element of his crimes in documents he filed with the state last November. That acknowledgement of the crime and that facing of history is absolutely critical, she says, in the issuing of a pardon. So,
I would say
think
she
that,
has a valid point. In fact, that, I mean, if you have to be pardoned or forgiven, you have to know what you're being clearly pardoned and forgiven for.
I forgot what he is doing this for. I'm not sure.
He
whether
wants to open a restaurant, one of his burger restaurants.
Wahlburgers.
Yeah, he wants to open them up, and he needs to be cleared of that felony for the liquor license.
That's it.
And also, Mike, he's building a wing.
It's not happening with me. It's not the same situation.
No, thank you, Jimmy.
No skeletons in my closet.
That's attaboy.
I remember when Jimmy was out there throwing rocks at Irish Catholic people. It was not pretty. Not
My own
pretty at all.
family.
Luckily,
Yeah.
Mike, you caught 3 of them.
I did. Before we were friends, I got all cut on my forehead.
How
Jimmy was
you-
out there in
how you
front of
met.
his restaurant saying, "No Irish need apply."
It was when he opened his restaurant in 1910.
Put up your dukes. Fight you.
Okay, speaking of restaurants, this restaurant can only exist in China. But, Jimmy, I really wish that you would maybe adopt this policy at least one night a year.
Oh,
Here we go.
That's all.
This is in China where there aren't any laws.
Oh, okay. Of course, that part of China.
Super Bowl
Welcome to
Sunday.
Jimmy's on a Friday
In
night.
America, this place would be sued within 27 seconds of opening. A Korean restaurant in China called Jeju. Jeju Island.
How do you spell that?
Jeju.
Oh, of course.
Jeju.
Jeju.
It's called Jeju Island.
At jimmystavern.com.
Are you not getting enough?
I'm getting it.
Are you
I
not,
love it.
Are you not getting enough?
I'm getting
you?
plenty.
Okay.
I'm getting plenty. Can't wait
Jeju-
to hear it so I can really get it.
Jeju Island just opened, and it's got a hell of a gimmick. You can eat free if you're good looking.
Wow. Jimmy's
when
profits would soar.
We would save a lot of money.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hi, Uncle Dave.
Stop it.
When people walk into the restaurant, they're photographed, then a group of local plastic surgeons judge their photos.
Wow.
This is great. I guess they don't have anything better to do, or they
man.
use it as free advertising. The first 50 attractive people for the day get their meal for free.
That's excellent.
So do they have like the plastic surgeons in the restaurant? Is that the
Sure.
way that's working?
And
I
you know,
think that's
because it's
fantastic.
China, they've got to have white lab coats on.
Wow.
So if you
Just a
don't make
thought.
the-
Very
you don't
good.
make the cut.
Nominees for the Golden Raspberry Awards were announced last night, and Oscar, you're not going to be happy about
Oh,
this.
no.
Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen leads the way with 7 Razzie nods.
Sorry, buddy.
Probably the worst Transformers of the franchise.
That
okay,
speaks,
so you're
that
backing it
speaks
up.
a lot
well,
of
because
words.
the Dinobots, I mean, why even have them in the movie if they're going to be represented that way?
Exactly,
And
Mike.
any
He's
true
so
Transformers fan knows that they offer more than just that.
Great plots.
To his credit, the aforementioned Mark Wahlberg did not get singled out for Worst Actor. Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas and The Legend of Hercules were a close second with 6 nominations apiece. And, of course, Adam Sandler is nominated again for Worst Actor every year.
Shouldn't he just get the lifetime achievement and send them on his way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This year, the Razzies are trying something new, rewarding positive achievement. They have a category called the Redeemer Award,
Hey.
where they celebrate actors who've gone from suckage to success. For instance, Ben Affleck is up for it this year after going from Geely to Argo and Gone Girl. I think that's valid.
I think that is
So,
right. I really liked him in Argo.
Jennifer Aniston also nominated for the Redeemer Awards. It's pretty cool.
Oh, she made that movie. Is it called Cake?
Cake.
Yeah, Cake. That's
Cake.
what she's. Yeah, you were going to say something, James?
No, I like her. She's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could eat for free at Jimmy's.
Yeah, she
That's all right.
Hey, now.
Okay, bear with me here. This is a bit of a long one. I want to share this story. I thought it was kind of cool.
All right.
In the late 1980s, a 12-year-old boy fell into a coma where he remained in a vegetative state for 12 years. Today, that same boy, 39-year-old Martin Pistorius, is living a normal life. While he's in a wheelchair and speaks with the help of a computer, his awareness has fully returned. In his book Ghost Boy, My Escape from a Life Locked Inside My Own Body, he describes what he remembers from those 12 years and his remarkable recovery. When he first fell ill, doctors in South Africa, where he lived, weren't sure what caused his illness, but suspected it was cryptococcal meningitis. He eventually lost all ability to move, speak, and make eye contact with his family. Physicians said he would die soon, but his family proceeded with a routine. They dressed him every day. They bathed him. They fed him dinner, and they put him to bed. Had the same routine every day. His parents even set an alarm to go off every 2 hours to turn his body so he wouldn't get bed sores. It was their life for 12 years. But Martin says he began to wake up when he was about 14 or 15 years old. At age 19, he was fully aware of what was going on around him, but he couldn't tell anybody. So he knew everything that was going on. It's just interesting when you know, a lot of debates on this subject about living wills and that type of thing. He says, quote, "I was aware of everything, just like any normal person. Stuck in his body without the ability to move or communicate, he felt doomed. It was especially bad when the care center would sit patients in front of the television all day to watch children's shows."
Oh, no.
And here was a 14 and 15-year-old
He
kid
was
who's
locked.
completely aware
Yeah.
throughout the rest of the time. His last quote, "I cannot even express to you how much I hated Barney."
How did he break out from that?
He just recovered slowly, and then he began to communicate, and he could signal and blink his eyes, but
That's
I
an
guess he
amazing
still can't
story.
verbally communicate. And now, a little something. Jimmy, this
Amen.
has nothing to do with your bar. I want to distance you from this particular story.
This was written weeks in advance. Who even
Weeks
knew
in
Jimmy was
advance.
going to be here?
Okay.
Selling fake whiskey is bad enough if there's no honor among bootleggers who can you trust. But this guy took things like 75 steps further than just selling imitation booze. 35-year-old Nicholas Stewart would sell bottles of Jack Daniel's whiskey to tourists outside a slot machine complex in Blackpool, England.
Bad boy.
Only it wasn't really whiskey. And a bunch of people complained.
What a bum.
The cops got a bottle of it, ran tests, and figured out what was going on.
Ran tests.
What was it?
It was made of water, and Nicholas got it
No.
to look whiskey-colored by mixing in
Coke.
human pee and poop.
Ooh, thank you.
We're assuming it was his. Not that it makes it any more or less gross if
No.
if it's someone else's. He was arrested, and he just got suspended sentence of 70 days in jail for fraud.
That's
Not
Some
enough.
people
Not
pee
enough.
at poop water.
There you go for like a
you can
year.
rest assured that it wasn't Gentleman Jack. Am I right, fellas? There you go. All right. Yes, sir. Or Turd Jack.
Send
Jack
that guy
and
to
poo.
the electric chair.
I'll have a Jack and Turd.
In a
Todd Moore
carafe.
wants a Jack and poo.
No,
Thank you very
no,
much. All right, I'm sorry. We'll take a break. Go back with the Audio Vault and Rob Spiewak right here on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Cake and cookies.
Your OCD is nothing to be ashamed of.
It's also the depression. There's just a stigma that goes with it.
I don't think so anymore.
Okay, well then I'll wear my freak flag, fly it high. High.
Yeah. Don't be ashamed of your OCD. Be ashamed of the way you talk.
It's the Rob and Katie Show. For more information, visit us at morebroadcasting.com.
I was watching Bravo last night. They had a promo for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They had a promo that they made this week for next week's show. It's a fascinating concept.
Wow.
It truly is. Yes. Not like our 9-month-old promos that we run on the Mike O'Mara Show Network. Can we get a new promo for Cake and Cookies? Is
Would
that
you like
possible?
that?
I'd love that. That would make me
Then
really,
let's make
really-
that happen.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Brought to you by Blue Apron, everybody.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a new year.
Awesome.
So why not a new you? You can start a new routine to eat better and eat healthier, and it's easy with BlueApron.com. BlueApron.com delivers fresh, locally sourced ingredients straight to your door. The box arrives. Everything is portioned out. The ingredients are absolutely top of the line. Better ingredients that you would find in a regular grocery store. I know this because my lovely wife made me paella and the chicken and mushroom casserole. It was phenomenal. The prep is a cinch because you get the beautiful recipes that are laminated, big page, easy to read. They're fantastic. Prep time for all the meals. You ready for this? 35 minutes or less.
Wow.
You will be a gourmet. Look, you see the things where some of these ads will be on TV, and you'll see the lady that's all nervous because the frozen dinner she cooked, her boyfriend goes, "Duh, that looks just like yours." Well, you can tell it's a frozen meal.
Sure.
This is the real deal. You prepare the food.
fresh.
Incredibly delicious, healthy, balanced recipes that will impress at any meal, from dinner for two to an elaborate dinner party, which is what I think people should use it for.
Yes.
You want to have those neighbors get all impressed? Today only, BlueApron.com is offering our listeners 2 free meals in their first week's box o' meals. Just pick your plan to enjoy this offer. $9.99 per meal for 2 people or $8.74 per meal for families. This is a good buy as well. Just visit blueapron.com/TMOS and the offer will automatically be applied before checkout. That's blueapron.com/TMOS. I love their food. You will too. Check it out. Without further ado, let's open up the audio vault for Rob Spiewak. Take it away, Rob.
Mike, do you remember some years ago when you said, I want to be a broadcaster, and they said, go to college and learn. Then
Yes,
you
of
will be a
course.
broadcaster, right?
Oh, yes, exactly what I did. All that
Sign me up.
I don't think that's how it works anymore. On QVC yesterday, they had a fashion designer on named Isaac Mizrahi.
Oh, yeah, I know who he is.
Isaac is on all the time. He's
You'll
smart.
be great. You'll be swell.
He's smart. The host is smart. I want you to just go through this conversation they have and hear the amazing amount of intellect there is. And remember, this is not PBS. This is QVC.
That's such a happy, beautiful, rich
It almost kind of
experience.
looks like what the Earth looks like when you're a bazillion miles away from the planet
Yes,
Moon.
yes, I
The
just
planet
squinted
moon,
at it,
From
and you're
the
right.
moon, looking
From
back
the
at the
planet
Earth.
moon. From the planet
Isn't the
moon.
moon a star?
No, the moon is a planet, darling.
The sun is a star. Is the
Well,
moon really a planet?
The moon is a planet.
Don't look at me like that.
It's
The sun is
it's
a star.
Planet.
Is the sun not a star?
I don't know what the sun
The
is.
sun
Hold
is
it.
a
Stop
star,
it for a
isn't it?
sec, please. Don't.
Isn't it
But-
wondrous?
But boy, can she sell, huh? Can she sell?
Yes, she
can
can.
that dumb lady sell?
It looks
huh?
like the planet Moon.
Right. The planet moon,
The planet
yes.
Moon.
The sun is a star. The moon is not
The
a planet.
moon
I
is
knew
a
it.
planet.
I knew it. You were
Excuse
trying to
me?
take me down
No.
that road.
Wait,
the moon is not
excuse
a
me,
planet.
Chunky, if you're listening to
This
me,
is
you have
Rosebud.
to Google the moon.
Someone, I can
okay?
guarantee you, someone's googling right now.
The
because
moon
I
is
knew
such
it was
a
not
planet.
a planet.
I can't even
the moon
stand
is
it.
not a planet.
What else is it if it's not a
It is
planet?
not. I believe it's a star or something.
It's
it is
a
not
moon. It's a moon.
Didn't you do that thing?
She's sure it's not a planet,
She
but
could-
the moon might be a sun. It might be a star.
She could sell me a cyanide tablet.
Yeah, that'd be great. wouldn't it?
I can't listen to
There
her.
was Saturn and the one with the rings and and then the Earth and with the moon is never in there, dude. It's not a planet.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, so if you want to really excel in astronomy, just go ahead and watch QVC. Now, you can also go over to Bravo, the Bravo channel. I know you take the Bravo, Mike.
Bravo.
They
Yes,
have their
absolutely.
they have their first scripted drama on now. It's called A Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce.
Oh, you know what? My girlfriend watches this.
Well, she must have loved the plot line last
I
night.
had it on my show prep today. Maybe we can talk about it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
My guilty pleasure, the RHOBH, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes.
I might be done. I bailed on it last night.
How
I was
come?
like completely. It was the land of suck. I'll talk about it tomorrow.
The,
it was so bad. It was absolutely ridiculously bad.
The climax of last night's plot is these girlfriends soaked their tampons in vodka.
Oh.
And it caused such irritation that they had to jump into the swimming pool. This is their first scripted drama, okay?
What's happening?
Okay, I'm not gonna freak out. You need to tell me what's happening.
What's going on?
I have no idea.
We have to
They
stop.
soaked tampons in vodka.
Ew.
No way. Yes way. At the first they started drinking and then they didn't want the calories.
Hold on. So what you're saying is that
Their vaginas are on fire.
That's based loosely on an unshot script of The Golden Girls. So if you want to check that out, that's good for you.
Estelle Getty's vagina was on fire.
I love David Letterman, and he brought this back now that they're starting to announce all the candidates that are examining their possibility to run for president. I don't
Comedy
know why
gold
this is
potential.
so funny, but
Right.
he has tape of Mitt Romney singing America the Beautiful, but he plays it backwards.
It's so stupid, but it's great.
Sounds like me after 12 drinks.
That's right.
Nice.
Now, did you
Wow.
see the tape or the selfie of the guy that had a delayed flight to New York City? It was so delayed, everyone transferred. It turned out there was only 2 people on the flight.
Yes. Yeah, I saw this.
Here's the guy talking about he got on the plane. There was only 2 people, and the other guy slept the whole time.
I mean, the best part was there were no crying babies on board. There's no one in front of me to lean their seat back into me or anything. everything. So, and I felt no guilt leaning my seat back either. So, felt really good to have that whole space to myself.
Last night, Conan said, but they still lost his luggage. And while we're speaking of Conan, I know that we have a lot of listeners in California, and there's been an outbreak of measles.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which is a lot of people thought is a dead disease, but they figured out where it came from, Mike.
Got to mention this. Health officials have determined that the origin of California's recent measles outbreak is Disneyland. Disneyland. As a precaution, today officials closed down Disney's popular ride, It's a Smallpox World. Thank you.
That is your Magic Audio Vault. Have a great Wednesday, everybody.
That was a great audio vault. Thank you very much, Rob Spiewak. Thank you, Jimmy Cerrito and EQ. We look forward to seeing you guys on February 1st. Did you want to get something else in there, Jimmy?
I want to tell my mom I love her dearly. Hi, Maggie. Love you so much.
Oh, good. Hi, Maggie.
And happy birthday, Mo.
And anything else going on at your fine establishment that we should mention?
I want to mention that you can take the Silver Line, you can take the Metro, hold your breath. It'll get you out to Reston.
Stop it.
And you can take the bus from there to Jimmy's now. The Silver Line goes all the way to
As
Reston.
Eric mentioned before, a lot of people used to go through a few hoops to get out to your location. So
Right.
now it's a little bit easier
It's easy,
for
yes.
guests coming in. And my very, very best to your mom as well, Jimmy. And
if you email Jimmy at jimmystavern.com, I'll pick you up.
what's the matter with Eric's mic? I didn't hear that.
You got to project.
Got to speak loud, man.
I'm projecting. If you email Jimmy at jimmystavern.com, he will
Attaboy.
come by and pick you up personally.
We'll pick you up.
DMV.
Yes. And follow us
That's
on
great.
Facebook. Thank you.
We'll see you
Thank you.
February 1st.
Thank
That's
you,
it. We
Mike.
got to get out of here. For
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oscar Santana, Michael
Go
Murray saying
Colts.
so long, everybody.
Root for the
Bye-bye.
Colts. Colt 45.
Bye.
Wait, don't go. I need to tell you that MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon is perfect for all your online shopping needs. Shop the best way. Shop Amazon. And please go through our website, always open at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.